Hello and welcome back. We are back reviewing the latest series of Doctor Who, which is series 10 of the new Who series, I think.
Possibly.
I think it's series 10. That's what all the papers were saying. So,
you can't believe anything you read in the newspaper these days.
No, but in terms of the labelling for it, at the very least, I'm not saying according to the papers.
I'm still calling it fake news right here.
Oh God!
I'm going to start a hashtag campaign about this.
God,
Doctor Who fake news. Right, carry on.
Right, so the first episode of the new series has just gone out. It was the episode entitled "The Pilot," written by Stephen Moffat. We have the introduction of a number of new characters. We have the introduction of one of the brand new companions, Bill, and the reintroduction of Nardole, who's joining the companions as well. So we've got more than one companion going for this series as well, which is a nice return. And it's one of the first non-human companions they've had in, well, a very long time.
Say the new series, I'm going off the top of my head.
Does
Captain Jack count?
Jack is human.
Very good.
Jack is human.
Rose.
Unless you're going to count off like one-off episodes, like School Reunion when we had the return of K9 briefly.
Yeah, briefly. Did he ever go in the TARDIS?
Not that one.
No.
That was a Mark III, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
was it Mark III or the Mark IV? I can't remember.
Old Who, you've got Susan, who's also back.
Yes, I did enjoy that. That was one of my favourite. As soon as I saw it, it says Susan, because I always like it when they do. I like it when they do references to the old Who stuff, because William Hartnell is one of Capaldi's favourite Doctor, I think, as well. Because he started watching it when Doctor Who started, which is what I quite liked. I quite liked we had Susan in it, and quite important in some ways as well. Wasn't named, but I liked the fact that she had a quite degree of prominence. We had the photos on the desk. The whole nature of the whole sort of the Doctor's almost given up sort of adventures, which I found interesting from the starting point. The idea of he's been there for 50 years, some saying more, is the idea that he gave it up. He said, "I've got to keep a promise." We don't know who, though.
Or what's in that.
We don't know what's in the vault, so that's our big question as to who or what is in the vault. I'm sure that will be revealed in due course.
Well, no, Stephen Moffat will be revealed about... Oh, wait, he's not in the next series. It'll never get revealed then.
It'll be the finale. It always is.
He'll do it. That's way too obvious. And soon.
12 weeks away. So what did you think of it? Do your thoughts first this time.
A bit choppy on the editing at some points.
It was a bit jumpy. I can understand that in the sense of...
Okay, we're keeping this fluid. What university was it? Or did they never mention?
Bristol.
Bristol.
It's in Bristol, because I made a point of wondering, thinking of, where are they? Because I was thinking of London. It must be somewhere in London.
Well, I saw all buildings, I went, it's either Cambridge or Oxford.
It's Bristol. At one point in the university, you see the name of the... it's not Bristol University, it's something University Bristol.
That's one question I had. It's gone.
There you go. I was wondering that myself.
But yeah, the editing was a bit... That kind of slowed down as the episode went on. It was kind of the beginning of all the stuff, and Christmas came out of nowhere. Christmas. Got a rug.
Passage of time.
Passage of time. I just dislike fast editing. That's why I hate most movies. Especially fight scenes. Anyway, back. I liked his little tub of sonic screwdrivers.
I like that. I liked it a lot because that was all the first scene as well. That was when Bill first goes into kind of his office.
Yeah, well, you knew it was Capaldi the moment you saw Matt Lucas.
Oh yeah, you knew who it was and everything.
Yeah, and then you hear the guitar.
The whole thing is you knew who it was. The whole thing, but all the little references to it. You had that of all the old screwdrivers. The photograph of River, the photograph of Susan. Probably two of the most important women in his life.
No K9. He was the most important dog in his life. God damn it. I'm going to episode in my head now. I suppose we should talk about Bill.
I like Bill.
I like Bill.
Bill's a great companion. What I really like about Bill is she's very matter of fact almost. It's sort of she calls things as they are.
She also watched Netflix, so she's fully genre savvy to what's going on.
But that's one of the things that I quite like. In many ways, that's what the role of the companion is for a lot of ways. It's kind of, this is the audience's way in. Which is why you have
the main character, especially in the modern series at points.
Yes, I agree with
Sorry,
that.
yeah, cough.
Easy. It's the way in. Now, what I quite like what they've got with Bill is Bill isn't quite...
Likes chips.
Yes. I love that, the whole element to it. And equally, the whole flirtiness. The whole thing about the girl that she was giving the chips to, and then when Heather first appears, the whole thing is just like, she's just incorrigible. But I like it. I'm not saying it in a sort of she's in anything like that. I like that aspect. Bill is very human. Very down to earth, savvy, and compassionate. Doesn't wear her heart on her sleeve. I'm just trying to think of all the other... Because obviously most other companions come from some sort of tragic background type thing a lot of the time.
Their parents were murdered in an alleyway by a Dalek. And
not necessarily that, but usually they've
lost...
That point
on, they swore to fight crime across the cosmos.
I'm sure that is the character from one of the spin-offs, actually, in one of the one-offs.
Somewhere it's happened. If not, it's happened in a DC full story somewhere.
The whole nature of the companions a lot of the time do tend to be... They're orphans.
Orphans, or at least one parent's gone.
Yeah.
Can't remember about Martha, she was so bland.
No, Martha, her parents were divorced.
There was still a separation in the parents.
They do. They get back together, though, at the end. Because they had the year that never was.
Ah, yes.
Yes. I just like Bill's character.
Yeah, he's just
Bill's just a nice
person.
Admittedly, we've only had one episode, but I think I've got a good... I don't have that worry. I don't have any sort of concerns over... Because Bill is capable as well. Bill's actually able to make a lot of connections herself, as you see during it. It's not kind of, she's an idiot and needs the doctor there to point her in the right direction and do everything. Equally, though, as is often the case with sort of introductory episodes for companions, we haven't had many of those, to be fair. It's less about the big threat and more about the companion. Which this one was in a lot of ways, which I quite liked. The whole nature of this was the Doctor accepting the ability, the desire to go travelling again. Which clearly he, judging from the context and of some of the things he said, hasn't been for a very long time. We've got this amazing character of Bill, who generally seems to be the fact that she's not a university student and that kind of thing. She's kind of sort of been... I don't want to say ignored, but she's never had high aspirations put upon her, if that makes sense. Although clearly she is very intelligent. I mean, you see that with the test scores that she got there, because it was high 80s and 90s. It's bloody good. Interesting relationship for Bill at home.
Her stepmum.
Her stepmum, who doesn't seem to be aware that Bill's gay.
Something like that.
I'm not sure whether it was just me sort of just misinterpreting one of the lines.
Oh, you mean the I forgot my actual line.
Yeah, she said that you want to watch out for men like him.
Yes, that line.
And Bill sort of comment under her breath. Which makes me think, I don't think stepmum realises.
Mum's either not aware or in denial. We don't know enough about Mum to know where she...
We don't know enough about the relationship either, though, particularly. Other than the fact that Mum is with Trevor?
Trevor, previously Barry.
Yeah.
At the moment I heard Barry and my mind just went to extras and I was like, this needs to happen. Someone get Stephen Merchant on the phone now.
What else do we have? Daleks.
That briefly.
Very briefly.
Literally, like, Dalek and it's gone. That's all you get in this season. That's the Daleks.
What did you think of the monster this time around? Which is an interesting one, actually. The puddle.
I'm now calling it the puddle.
Doesn't have a name.
It's just the puddle. Let's go to Doctor Who Wiki, see what they've called it there.
It'll be a while.
They can update these wikis fucking quickly. They're on this. They are on this. Interesting idea for a monster in massive quotation marks.
It reminded me of the sort of the waters on Mars type thing. Because water, as the waters of Mars demonstrated, can be very scary. This whole thing of water can get everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's a particularly scary aspect of a person who's literally sort of leaking. It's the idea of the drowned and that kind of thing, which is a particularly unnerving thing because it's something of we're all made of water and oversaturation and the whole and sort of decolorization as a result of that. It is a scary look, and the whole mimic aspect of it as well is quite interesting.
It's irritated me when kids do that to you.
Well, that reminded me of the episode Midnight, the David Tennant one with. Do you remember that one?
Bit more than just David Tennant. I've watched
David Tennant. It was in the season with Catherine Tate. She wasn't really in the episode though. It's the one where they're trapped on the shuttle.
Oh yes, I
thing that mimics them.
What
I think is generally one of the scariest episodes. So
Blink.
Effective.
Blink. The one time the Weeping Angels were actually effective at what they're meant to be doing.
Blink was also terrifying. I think Midnight was.
And the Empty Child.
One. Empty Child. Stephen Moffat once before
he took over. Stephen Moffat was good at being scary.
I'm going to check if he wrote Midnight actually.
He might have. I don't know. I don't think he did. I might be wrong. I know he wrote Empty Child and Blink.
No, Midnight was written by Russell T Davies.
Ah, interesting.
That was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Midnight was a very scary one. I really liked it, and it was so effective because you never actually find out what it was either. Back to the pilot.
Back to the modern series. Modern series.
What is it? The current series.
Let's discuss Patrick Troughton. Although, can I say, when I first heard the puddle's voice, I thought it was Lord Voldemort. It's like, oh shit, Voldemort's here, we're screwed.
It's
the hissing voice. I mean, Voldemort.
I thought it was the voice of in the Husbands of River Song. I'm going back a little bit here. You have the people who worshipped Hydralax. The very pale people, almost had like the mark across their face like the creatures that we saw in The Return of Dr. Mysterio. Which I suspect are actually the same thing. His voice reminded me a lot of the one that we met in the Husbands of River Song. That slightly hoarse, raspy.
Yeah.
Which I find interesting, because of course we never actually find out what it is.
It was a puddle.
Other than it's a puddle. Well, other than the whole nature of it's part of a living
Spaceship.
fuel, living spaceship that wants to leave, and it found with Heather was a pilot, and with Bill it was a passenger. Which was interesting because the whole nature of it wasn't so much this is the thing we need to defeat, which I quite liked. It suddenly became very sad at the end. The whole nature of it's holding on to Heather's crush on Bill, which suddenly did feel rather sad then. And even the line of as they were leaving after Bill has kind of been forced to let go and make Heather let go as well. The doctor says, Bill, she's fine. Says, that's the thing with the doctor, he never notices the tears. Which is very true of the doctor. He generally doesn't a lot of the time. It's the whole thing of... Well, Capaldi's doctor at the very least doesn't. Because he does care, but he doesn't notice. Always. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. It's kind of thing of, he'll notice it, but he won't act on it. He'll kind of put it to one side, and eventually he'll probably come back to it later on. Because you get that feeling a lot of the time with the only other companion we can compare this to is Clara. When Clara got upset about things, Clara hid things, but the doctor was always aware of it, but he didn't push. He didn't make things happen with it. It was like, she's sad, there's nothing I can do about it. And sort of, he's prone to distraction. Who do things to distract him from other things, which is, I think a lot of the time, one of the key aspects you can see to why the doctor travels. This whole thing of why does he run? He runs so he never has to look back. Because if he stands still for too long, he'll be aware of everything that's happened. which is why he always has to travel, which is why he runs. If you want to look at a slightly melancholic view of why the
If you want to
Doctor...
read way too much into this...
Let's be fair, that's what we do.
Yeah.
It's the whole point of these things.
Still speculate.
It's all... A lot of it is speculation, and it's interpretation of the character. Because that is down to the individual a lot of the time. And even the individual actor who plays the Doctor will view him in different ways. I mean, if I played the Doctor, I would do it probably
Whoa. When you play the Doctor.
Thank you. You and I would play the role very differently.
Same time, that'd be weird.
That would be interesting.
It splits into
Crossovers.
two, and one becomes the good, one becomes the bad. And this is now very much a comic book plot.
It's happened before.
It happened
The
to
two
Superman,
Doctors,
it's
the three
split
Doctors, the
into-
5 Doctors.
Yeah, well, that's technically separate Doctors on them.
Yes, true.
That's not one being split in two.
No, I wouldn't put it past them.
Although we've got 2 Masters this season, so that's going to be interesting.
And we've actually saw in... we're skipping right
Calling
through
it
to
now,
the end.
John Sims in the vault. Actually, he's not. Probably not. I don't know what's in
That
vault.
would be too much of a cliche, surely. It's too obvious.
Yeah, but this is Stephen Moffat we're talking about. No.
I don't know what's going to be in the vault, but what I did...
Or there's nothing in the vault.
Or nothing. That's the other way of going around it. Well, it
Yeah,
depends.
just-
It's like, it's going to be sort of the Pandorica.
Yeah.
It's kind of, there's this horrible creature inside, this terrifying monster, and it turns out it's a prison for the Doctor, which is a nice twist. I like what they did with the Pandorica there. Kind of.
Oh.
I like the whole thing of this terrifying thing that everybody's afraid of, and it turns out it's just the Doctor, who's going to be put in there.
Yeah.
I like that. Sort of reordering it all around. And it's a matter of, and it's like the Doctor said, evil's a matter of perspective. Evil's just depending on what side of cutlery you're on. I'm going to use that.
If you're bacon sandwich, I would love you.
I love that.
My bacon. Now I'm going to feel guilty every time I eat a bacon sandwich.
This is how the vegans take over.
Yeah, that's how I start.
That's what I think. To be fair, I think the writing for this episode was pretty good as well,
It
actually.
was good. It was very...
Doctor had a nice lot of lines. I liked a lot of
My
the
favourite
lines.
line from Bill was he moves like a penguin whose
Arse is on fire.
arse is on fire. I was like, that's a great saying. I remember my mum laugh. The penguin with his arse on fire.
That's funny. Anyway, yes, we got our first look at the very end of sort of what's coming up this series.
Yes, we have
With
Cybermen.
Cybermen. Classic.
Missy,
It's the first time in the new series that it is actually Mondasian Cybermen,
yes.
which I'm very much looking forward to, and I
Just
think
as long as they have the creepy voice.
I'm sure they will. Nick Briggs will
We
be
need
doing
that
it, of course.
really creepy, almost sing-song voice the original Cybermen had was terrifying.
The whole even just the way their mouths opened, it was literally
just opened,
It was just
talked and
opened. It was
closed.
almost sort of like a letterbox type thing.
Yes. Generally
So terrifying, brilliant.
Missy, who we all knew was in the series.
Missy, we knew was in the series.
Missy and John Sim in the same episode, because that's going to create problems.
I would be I don't know. Might be. To be fair, it looked like John Sim's character's got sort of a beard.
Yeah,
again.
he just looked more rugged.
Yes, it was a sort of an. I quite liked it at the start. You only saw it for a moment,
exactly.
but I quite liked the look. I'm thinking of, hello, that's a very different one. In many ways, a part of me was thinking of that's channeling a bit more of the look in terms of the facial hair, at least, and kind of even just how well managed his actual hair was to Anthony Ainsley. That kind of well groomed. The other interesting thing is that they showed was like the third shot they had in what's coming up this series is the Doctor regenerating.
Yes.
Or what appears to be the Doctor regenerating.
It's going to be like another... What episode was that? With the hand?
That
Every 10 tried to Jeremy
was...
didn't.
It was the end of the Donna ones.
Yeah.
As the Stolen Earth.
Yes. The hand.
To be fair, we know Capaldi is regenerating.
At the end.
Well,
I assume at the end. It
we
may
can-
be helpful. That'd be a massive plot twist halfway through the season, right? No one would have seen that coming.
Well, even then, Capaldi has said he's already... they're still doing some post-production, some scenes still at the moment, like post-production. But he has also... He said he has filmed his regeneration scenes already. That doesn't tell us much, though,
Which
because...
means I assume they've cast the Doctor.
Possibly...
If they film the regeneration scene. Okay, it's 2 seconds of dialogue, but...
True, but
must
let's
be
also not
getting
forget that David Tennant wasn't on set for the regeneration from Christopher Eccleston, nor was Matt Smith on set.
Damn it, we need...
No, Matt Smith was. It was John Sim wasn't when they did the Master regeneration scene.
Oh, yeah.
They had to film them secret. They filmed those on separately, which you can see actually when Eccleston regenerates into Tennant, because there's a difference in camera quality when you're looking at when you have the shots of David Tennant and then the reaction shots of Billy Piper. There's a difference in the camera quality and the lighting slightly.
Who knows when we'll find out, if we find out.
Well, Capaldi apparently has... I'm not sure, I've read the headline. He's kind of been not referring to the Doctor or the new person as the Doctor as he or she.
No,
I think generally he'll just be referring as the Doctor is a person, the Doctor is a person, so it's kind of just being as neutral on the issue as possible. And obviously that's going to lead to further speculation of, is it going to be a woman? Are we going to have our first female Doctor? And you and I have spoken at length about this already.
We're not going to get in that discussion again.
No, because we've had lengthy conversations on it. If you do want to know our thoughts on it, watch the Mass Effect videos.
And if you have any hate mail, send that to Alex Dixon at... What's your email address again?
My email address.
And George Frost.
My email address is steviebangs@hotmail.com.
Done.
Send it all to my friend Stephen.
No.
He is my sound editor, so he will be more than happy to take that up. He's also one of the nicest people in the world.
Sure he is.
No, generally he is. He is generally one of the nicest people you can meet. I find it interesting that we're getting hate mail and it goes to him. He does listen to us. I say that. He subscribes, he doesn't listen, and I badger him about it. So, Stephen, listen to these bloody things.
Oh, we will send you hate mail.
We'll make sure the hate mail does go to you, because I do have your email address.
I can create spam bots very easily. Do you require a larger penis? Or a Nigerian banker? I don't know.
A Nigerian prince wants to give you...
A Nigerian banker who wants to give you a bigger penis. It's all merged into one now.
Anyway, back to Doctor Who, shall we?
Doctor Who, yeah. What else happened?
Do you remember I told you a while ago there was another classic villain monster that were coming back?
Oh, the silverhaired people.
The Mavellans.
That's how memorable they were.
Yeah, well, they only appeared in the one episode.
I know, that's why.
And this is when they appeared.
And I'm like, oh, there they are. Earlier and expected, and kind of pointless. They didn't do anything, and
they didn't. I think it just added a bit of context in terms of the time period. They might become relevant. I don't know.
It's just weird that became newsworthy at some point. The Mavellans are back.
Same newsworthy. It's the Radio Times.
Everything's newsworthy.
Not everything, but it's relevant to Doctor Who and it's little things.
And it's
enough they can write, because the articles on Radio Times are only a couple hundred words.
Well, what else can you write about the Mavellans, really?
Not much. They only appeared in one episode. It's the whole thing of they're back, and we know this because of speculation.
Okay, everyone, even most old Who fans went, who? Except for that one guy.
That's actually just reminded me of one of the things that Bill did that I quite liked.
What?
She didn't say Doctor Who, it's Dr. What.
Oh, Dr. What, yeah. We like that should be on the title card.
I like that.
That should be on Dr. What, this series. You got it wrong. It's just you got it wrong.
I quite liked that bit.
Yeah, it was good.
I liked the opening. I'm trying to think of anything else. I quite liked the character of Heather. Even just before the monster aspect, the whole nature of it. Because a lot of this episode did revolve around Bill. Because without Bill, it wouldn't have happened. Which is a good way to introduce a character, really. Rather than sort of the companions, this bystander who's just sort of accidental. Well, that's the only way you introduce it. You make it about them, because that means the Doctor's attention has to be on them. If you look at... There's a few characters... I'm trying to think of the companions where they haven't been sort of relevant to the plot. Sort of been a bystander, the Doctor sort of goes, right, come on, you can help. Rose's was like that.
Mickey, but he didn't like Mickey.
Rose. Martha was like that as well, though. It wasn't about Martha, the place was about relevant to where Martha worked, and she had the right attitude.
Well, her hospital got kidnapped, and her hospital got kidnapped.
True, she was one of many people in the hospital as well. So it wasn't sort of because of Martha. It was she was answering the right questions, and that impressed the Doctor.
Who did send Rose down to the basement to do all sorts? Just now thinking about it.
It was someone like one of the men.
Who was that person?
It was a manager's. It was a Henrik's department store that she worked in.
Was it a trick by the Autons, or was it just a coincidence?
I think it was just coincidence.
So that's a plot that never got brought back. No, I was just thinking about it now. Bring the Autons back. I miss the Autons. Likes the Autons.
I saw something interesting on my alternate history website. Someone was saying about someone wrote a timeline. No, let me finish. Someone was doing an alternate history on different castings of the Doctor, kind of from the start onwards, and it was very good. And they got to write out ideas, and they put together two monsters, two alien villains that actually would work very well together. The Autons and the Great Intelligence.
So not just replacing the Yetis with the Autons.
No, exactly.
Who already are under control of a higher intelligence.
Yes, the nesting consciousness.
Yes.
But if you literally have the two of them sort of go together, because the Yetis are just robots, remember?
To be fair, what if the Autons invaded Tibetan monster? Would be interesting. Not quite as threatening. It's just a bunch of.
I don't mean quite literally, Sean.
Oh,
I'm just saying it's an interesting.
It's like, how did they even get here? Who knows?
They're aliens. That's your question. These aliens that have travelled across the Gulf of Space, how do they get to Tibet?
They can get to Australia very quickly.
And through time and space.
Yeah, how? Fuck it. It's water.
As I said, water is scary. Water is patient.
Water always ruined my sandcastles on the beach.
Water always wins.
No matter how many times I tried to defend that sandcastle, that bastard sea.
Well, you're like King Canute trying to go, I will stop the sea.
No, like doing wall, like she's going, more sand. And then the moat overflows, and and everyone dies horribly. Yeah, damn you, the sea, ruining my many sandcastles I built, complete with giant moats and walls and artillery cannons made of sand.
Alright, the first bit's a bit understandable for a sandcastle. Artillery cannons? Really?
People take this way too seriously. It's like, okay, we need to get serious now. I should have got like a microwave ray or something. The microwaves evaporate water, don't they? That's how microwaves work.
Yeah, microwaves will evaporate.
You get a microwave gun, just evaporate. Evaporate the sea, because that's so it works.
It won't quite work like that, I'm afraid.
My head it does, and that's all that matters.
Right. What else is there to talk about with the episode?
We've been through the characters. Matt Lucas, anything?
I like Nardole.
Yeah, he was more tolerable in this episode. He didn't say much. I think that's why he was more tolerable.
I think the other thing is, of course, we've got other companions, so that's going to sort of even things out in terms of the share of lines and what they do and what they can do. I quite liked it that in his first appearance, you can hear him squeaking.
Yes, and the bolt fall out.
And I kind of like, yes, I like it. I like Nardole. I've liked him generally from the start. I liked him in when as sort of the full-time companion for the Return of Dr. Mysterio, the Christmas special. I liked him. That might be controversial for some people.
To me, but that's not important.
I like Matt Lucas.
He was more tolerable this episode. He was more tolerable. I will give him credit. He was tolerable this episode. He didn't say much. That's why he was tolerable.
What I quite like about him is that he's sort of nervous and unwilling to do things, but he still does them. Yeah. He's kind of the only person who sort of recognises the risk.
Can I say no, sir? No. Yes, sir. I mean, no.
I like that.
I'll take it.
I did. I really enjoyed it. This whole thing. What did you set him to do? Friends only.
Where's his Facebook? Only friends.
And the whole thing says, what you need to imagine is a big box inside a small box, and then make it. See, it's the second part that makes it that people have difficulty with.
Yes, it's the best explanation of it ever.
I like Nardole because he is also very matter of fact in a different way. It's kind of, it all makes sense, but not exactly. It's almost sort of Eric Morecambe-esque. It's kind of, it all makes sense to him, and because it all makes sense to him, he is very smart, because in his mind, all makes sense. But to everyone else, he looks like an idiot. But to him, everyone else is the idiot. If that's that kind of thing. Eric Morecambe's kind of arrogance that, as the character, when Eric Morecambe was playing Eric Morecambe, it's like, everything's going to be fine. He knows exactly how everything's going to happen. He will look stupid doing it, but he knows exactly how it's going to be. Like, I'm playing all the right notes, just not necessarily in the right order. And you take complete ownership of it. Which is what Nardole does. He takes complete ownership of all his lines. Things like that. And then, of course, you have him as the sort of the coward. Which works quite nicely as another side of the character as well. Bill, all of this is totally brand new, so it's terrifying, which is the first time we've actually seen of that kind of level of shock. Because usually companions seem to be very accepting of the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole nature that Bill had to run to the bathroom and just sort of needed a moment to go.
Oh, that's great. When you asked that, my mum turned to me and went, "Where is the bathroom on the TARDIS?"
People have been wondering that for years.
She's like, yeah, that is the question actually. So just open the door and just do it on a Dalek as you fly by. Suck on that Dalek. And that's how Time War started.
Right, should we
why
move
is
on to...
Dalek trending on Twitter? Why is Dalek trending on Twitter above Peter Capaldi?
Give it time.
I'm just like...
what else?
Be Doctor Who without a Dalek. The Daleks, they're back briefly.
Next scene.
Sorry.
What are you laughing at?
It's a picture on Twitter. It's a Dalek open with a sign saying "Out to lunch, back soon inside."
I like it.
Retweet.
Right. Next week.
Next week, robots kill humans. They're genuinely unsettling, those robots. It's the smiley faces.
It is smiley faces. It's like the girl who waited. It's kind of thing. How may I help you? It's kind of thing. How long will you be staying with us? Good question. Slightly threatening.
Or a Dalek asking you for tea.
Yes, it's that. Well, even then, it's the whole thing of something. It's nice, but in a clinical sense. It's being very nice and friendly, but it's somewhat clinical. There's a falseness to it. It's kind of, you take away that leaven. Oh, okay, that's slightly unnerving.
That's next week. Robots kill lots of humans.
First colony saving humans on their first colony. The system
judging by the skulls, I don't think there's many humans left to save.
No, whereas there are people that are going to be landing on it, the new colonists as well, by the looks of it.
And something blows up.
Yes. As we know, it's probably the base, because the Doctor has this sort of sudden urge to blow the base up.
Oh. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? It's the Doctor, is what he does.
I can't blow everything to pieces. Michael Bay this. Just blow everything up.
Not that far.
Blow the setup.
Looks interesting. I'm interested what they do with it. And even then, the robots look like they literally have been designed to be cute.
Yeah, which makes it more unsettling.
Yeah, and
if we assume they are behind it.
Because they are small, they are very round. Sort of
adorable.
It's literally the idea of, I've designed an adorable robot that is very slow moving.
Now it's going to kill you.
It waddles, it's got little tiny arms, it's really cute and lovely, and this thing kills people. That's how you do it. You take something... Well, it's the whole thing of what's a good plot, an easy plot for just any kind of like a horror or anything like that. You take something totally ordinary and benign, and you make it dangerous.
That's why children are used in horror films a lot.
Children, dolls...
The innocence, right?
You take something that's innocent and nice, or something you have positive memories of, and then and therefore you subvert it. Because that's what Moffat was able to do for a lot of the scary monsters.
Empty Child. It's a child.
It's a child. Weeping Angels. They're statues.
That move, but only when you never see them move.
But you don't
until that episode that we won't mention.
Waters on Mars. Waters of Mars. It's water. You get the Vasha Narada. Shadows.
Eat you.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of these are all totally ordinary things that are utterly harmless.
The same idea behind the Autons, shop dummies that come to life and kill you.
Yep,
they're everywhere. No kid will go into Marks and Spencer's again. And after this one, no kid's gonna have a shower for a while. But
no, actually, that's what
Mom,
I find really effective and scary. It's literally the whole worry if there's something down the drain, or even just it's sort of in puddles.
Yes, no kids jumping in puddles from now on.
What? Because that's what the announcer on the BBC said. You won't go next time. Beware of puddles. You might think again before jumping in puddles.
Well, I've thought again about jumping in puddles ever since Vicar of Dibley.
Oh yes, that classic scene.
Nah, I'm onto you, puddle. I'm onto you. Yeah, but yes, we'll see next week. Going for the horror again.
Yes, that would be interesting.
There wasn't really much horror other than the puddle.
It was more it was scares. It was thrills more than horror.
Thrills and.
To be fair, fundamentally, Heather is dead, though.
Yeah, she'll be back, and
she might not.
This is Doctor Who. Yeah.
I found it interesting. It's also quite interesting that usually, sort of the end of the episode, you have your hook for what's going to be the recurring thing. At least with Moffat.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. With all of them, you generally have, or
Generally.
early episodes.
Yeah.
You generally have your hook of what's going to be your recurring thing that is then revealed at the end. So we had Bad Wolf.
Bad Wolf. Forgot what the second one is. Isn't the second series?
Torchwood.
Bad
Wolf, Torchwood, Saxon.
Yes.
Next one was the Disappearing Planets.
Mm-hmm.
One after that, there wasn't a series after that because that was a series that was the sort of just the specials. So you didn't have a recurring thing. Or Knock 4 Times as your recurring one there. Then you had Cracks in Time with Matt Smith's first series. What did you have the series after that with Matt? Trying to remember the finales, really.
Yeah, generally it comes down to.
What was the finale after Matt's one? It's not The Great Intelligence already, is it?
I can't remember. They all start to blend into one after a while.
The Cracks in Time was...
Cracks in Time was the first series. It came back later on. The Cracks.
Yeah.
I can't remember. They say they all blend into one after a while.
Well, no, because that was also the year they kind of split it in half as well. Which throws me a little bit. So, yeah, you had The Big Bang. The series finale of season 6 was The Wedding of River Song. Which was The Silence? Yes, because that was the... I think it sort of more or less was.
Who knows?
Well, that one's kind of split in two halves. If you look at the first half of it, the whole trending episode of it was Something's Wrong with Amy. And then the revelation of where a good man goes to war, it's not really Amy, it's one of the doppels. It's one of the gangers. The second one was dealing with that from last time around. It was sort of... I can't remember what they were called. The organisation. They're the one with the silence and Madame Corvarian and all that kind of thing. It was dealing with that, largely. Series 7, again, is split. The first few episodes of it, there's not really anything. Because that's the half... Again, it's the half series that saw Amy and Rory leave. The Angels Take Manhattan. And there wasn't anything sort of recurring through to that one. Then you have Clara's bit. And that one, the whole build-up for that one was The Great Intelligence and the importance of Clara. It was more The Great Intelligence that was sort of the hook, occasionally. Because we met them in The Snowmen, and then we have them again through the series. Then you have the specials. Then you have the Missy ones. Series 8's recurring thing was Missy. As well as Death. And the recurring one from the last series... Oh, it was the Hybrid. That was our recurring one for Series 9. And I don't know what series... Oh, hello! They've revealed the name of the last 2 episodes for the series.
God. What are they called?
World Enough and Time was the first one. And episode 12... World Enough and Time.
Okay.
And the last one's called The Doctor Falls.
His hip went again. Stairs!
That one's interesting.
Well, I assume a double meaning other than the obvious...
Yes.
He's going to regenerate at that episode.
D'accord.
I assume there's a double meaning. So we don't know if... We know the Cybermen are in the finale. We don't know where either Missy or John Sim is.
No, we haven't got a clue where any of those are.
We assume maybe finale with the Cybermen, but that might get a bit crowded.
I think that might be too crowded. Surely that would be too much.
Missy might show up before. there's usually like a big two-parter in the middle of the series somewhere. Again, assuming Johnson and Missy are in the same episode, they're not in the same episode. We just don't know about where they are, where they want. Oh well, that could be interesting.
Now, something else I saw somewhere as well.
Yes.
Is that apparently, there might have just been one line I think that was mistaken, is that Capaldi's regeneration is actually coming up in the Christmas episode.
I thought it was the end. You told me it was it was the end.
Yes,
it was a Cybermen. It was a Cybermen.
Yes, I thought it was as well. I saw something a little while ago related to the Christmas special this year that apparently I saw something somewhere.
Interesting.
Right, hang on. I'm going on to one of the things that's got a sort of a summary of everything that we know of season 10 so far that's been revealed. Right.
Here we go.
God, the Cybermen do look scary.
They are generally.
They
also need to be made on the cheap. If they look too high professional, I'm going to be annoyed.
They don't. You can see pictures of them. They literally look
on the cheap. They literally went to B&Q to replace parts of those things.
Here we are. He will regenerate in 2017's Christmas special.
Ah, okay, so special regeneration.
He was leaving at the end of the year, so he won't be generating this season.
So
this series.
Hold off on the new Doctor for a while.
Yeah, filming only finished this month.
Mm.
So that'll be interesting when they reveal it. It'll probably be after the series. But then that makes the whole more question of why we see that shot of seemingly the Doctor regenerating.
Yes.
Unless it's all a double bluff.
My God.
That's one way to throw people off. You say it's going to be at this point and then it's earlier.
That can backfire. You start flat out lying to people. Yeah, it throws them off, but eventually that can. Or is it double bluff? Oh my God.
Oh God. Triple bluff?
Triple, I don't know. Quadruple. What number we're at now? It's just a bluff. No, several bluffs.
No, but I'm intrigued to find out when that happens in the series, why it's happening. Is he actually regenerating, or is it something else?
Or is it another fake one, or is he using his regenerative his glowy special powers to do something? He uses his regenerative powers.
Dear script writers of the future.
Didn't he heal River Song's wrist at one point with his regenerative energy?
He did. It wasn't a regeneration though. It was
a
waste of regenerative energy, and she slapped him for it.
Yes. Maybe he's using it for something else.
Possibly.
Or maybe he is regenerating. Who knows?
Well, we shall see.
At this point, I don't think even Moffat knows. It's all become a conspiracy within a conspiracy.
The whole thing. There's only one man who does know. It's Russell T Davis. Controlling from behind the scenes.
And that's John Pertwee. He's dead, so damn it.
Or do we go even more insidious? Michael Grade.
Peter Cushing.
No, Michael Grade.
It was great, yeah.
Looking to cancel it for the second time.
As far as I'm aware, the ratings have been fine.
Ratings have been alright. Some people have been speculating it's dropping.
Well, the longer it runs, eventually, you know,
that's fans, just the nature of generally long-running series.
Say someone was, I don't know, 8 when 2005. They eventually grow up, and eventually, most people.
Well, yeah, they're going to be
have shit to do in their old life and therefore may not watch it so much.
Well, look
or might just grow out of it. Or might just grow out of it.
Yeah, people grow out of it. It's the whole thing of that's why you have controversial storylines every now and again, because it brings the viewership back up and it brings people back in as an extra hook.
I don't think it's doing dreadfully. I haven't checked the ratings, but
it's not doing dreadfully. No,
it's not.
It's still one of the big. It's still one of the big. Sort of, what's the phrase? It's gone from my head. Not cash cow. Flagships.
It's one of the
it's one of the BBC's major flagships,
especially abroad,
particularly for its drama department. Some of the big flagships it's got for its drama department are this and Sherlock. They're the big ones for the drama. For entertainment, generally, Top Gear goes into that as well.
Well, it did.
It still is because the ratings went up for the last series or current. I don't know. The most recent Top Gear. Post Chris Evans, with just Matt LeBlanc. with just Matt LeBlanc doing it. The ratings have gone up for it. And so I've read somewhere that apparently people who watch both prefer the new Top Gear to the Grand Tour.
Interesting.
Having watched the Grand Tour, I can kind of see why a little bit. It's entertaining and it's fun and it's nice seeing the three of them banding around. Bits of it do feel a little bit theatrical, even more so than usual in terms of you're doing it. It feels fake.
It's always been fake.
It's always been fake, but it just feels it all the more a little bit. In terms of, alright, you're kind of just doing it a bit as a gimmick. And occasionally they know they can get away with saying a bit more now.
Well, yeah, they're out.
They're not on the BBC, they're not limited in terms of things like that. And sometimes I feel with, you're doing it just to be controversial, or you've kind of got a bit too much free license.
Yeah, just do it to be shocking. Though.
You're doing it to be sure. Even sometimes, no, because some of the stuff is just them saying it, and I've realised I don't like Richard Hammond. I don't. He annoys me.
He's small. He annoys me.
No, it's not that. It's generally his attitude to things. It's his attitude and the way he views things and the way he talks about things. I just find him a little bit. I just find him irritating. Whenever there's a contest or a race, I want the other person to win.
I want James to win. He never won.
I like James. I love it when James wins. As you know, James is both of our favourites, really.
Yes.
Three. I like Jeremy Clarkson as well.
I like Clarkson for the sheer just what the fuck's he gonna say?
I like Clarkson as well because, yeah, it's the whole thing of he can say what he wants, but I don't find him as not in the same vein as Hammond.
Oh.
Hammond's got a different sense of. I don't know. We've gone off Doctor Who.
It's a loose tangent anyway. Jeremy Clarkson's new Doctor, done.
That's a twist.
With James May as the Master.
No, I find it more interesting is that the BBC have invited him back.
Yeah, that would...
Now that's a way to make headlines.
Now that's science fiction.
Sean, get it trending.
Oh god.
Jeremy Clarkson is the next Doctor.
That'd be hilariously funny to watch. If James May is the Master...
And on that bombshell.
Because I want to see James May play a villain. It would be the most laid back than ever. What are you going to
Not
do?
necessarily, if you wind him up.
Yeah, he can get irritable.
Would be right, shall we close with my mum's
We shall.
thoughts?
Some final thoughts.
Mum, final thoughts on Mum. The first words I got from Mum on this one were...
Oh yeah, we haven't checked Mum. Go.
Mum's thoughts on the pilot were... Brill! I loved it!
Great, just glad she's here.
Oi!
Brill, I love Brill. Isn't that, no, that's Brillo pad. I'm thinking something totally different.
Yes, you are completely... She was slightly worried in the first few minutes, but she really
Oh
liked
my
it.
god!
I said worried,
Why?
not sort of what the hell.
Worried for... What did she not say?
I don't know. I didn't particularly ask her too much on the matter. I just wanted to sort of... Because the thing is, Sean, you and I have spent nearly 50 minutes jammering on about what our thoughts on it was, and my mum sums it all up quite succinctly in...
Mum's got shit to do.
In a sentence.
Brill loved it. It was...
I liked
dreadful.
it. Mum actually thinks it's one of the best
I will say now the
episodes.
plot of the episode is quite weak.
Oh yes, the plot is weak, but it doesn't. But
Terrible.
this isn't an episode that relies on its plot.
It's the characters. If you're there for the plot,
it's there to introduce.
or
Bill.
even really the Doctor, you're not quite going to get it. But it is introducing a new companion, and they usually do take over for that episode. Just whether they carry on taking over.
Which is always the case for... No, not always. I mean, sometimes you've had alright episodes for it. I mean, I quite liked Martha Jones. I quite liked Martha's introduction episode.
I like the Jejune.
The Jejune, the whole nature of that episode was quite nice. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. This one was revolving a bit more around Bill.
Like Clara, or really made me want to punch her like Rose, or completely forgettable like Martha.
Amy's first episode was the one with Prisoner Zero. I think it's the very
that had a great speech in it. That episode.
Oh, that's what Matt Smith was good at.
Yeah, that's what
Matt Smith's great at the speeches. What was interesting about this one, different from a lot of the other ones, is there was no tangible threat.
There was no big threat. It was literally just.
But even then, the whole thing wasn't so much the thing wanted to kill Bill or harm her. It wanted to be with her. Which, when you kind of realise at the end, suddenly makes the whole thing very sad. This thing was literally willing and able to go to the ends of the universe in order to sort of be with Bill. And on that note,
I'm going to go hang myself.
and on that note, I'm gonna go away and weep for a little bit. But you can join. You can join us next time for our
good
thoughts
start
on the next episode, which is called
"Run for Your Fucking Life." The cute bots have attacked.
It's got a slightly more sinister name. It's called Smile.
That's actually even more terrifying.
Yes,
that's something a serial killer says with a blade in your mouth.
And with that, I've got Heath Ledger now in my head.
Yes, they think of the Joker and they just smile and they cut you. What's it? A Glasgow Smile, it's called?
Yeah, it's called a Glasgow Smile, yeah.
Slash your throat immediately. Yeah, and that's a very different Doctor Who episode. But it would be awesome if they did it.
God, no. Anyway, yes, join us next time for our thoughts on Smile.
He's watching.